Hello YouTube, my name is Nero, and today we have some Titanfall for you guys. I wanted to make this video talking to you guys about how to increase your kill-death ratio in Titanfall, how to do better in Titanfall. So the first thing I'm doing right here, by the way, is I'm coming over here and I'm going to hack this heavy turret. You're going to find that throughout different maps in this game, there are going to be heavy turrets that you can activate. You basically hack it, and it's a giant turret that will work for you. They're relatively weak. I mean, they can be taken out with, I think, maybe 2 RPGs, right? So they're kind of weak, but they can definitely help you out, especially if you're in a Titan and you take your Titan and you kind of hang out by your turret. Then when an enemy Titan comes in and then you're shooting at him and your turret is shooting at him, it really helps you out. Just a quick tip there. But I want to talk to you guys today about how to increase your kill-death ratio in Titanfall, how to do a bit better while playing Titanfall. Now, I'm going to preface this video by saying that I'm not you, okay? I can't come over to your house, I can't take your controller, and I can't play for you, okay? I can't do that. The best I can do is try and help you guys out, give you some helpful tips that I've learned while playing Titanfall Beta, as well as Titanfall itself, and try to help you out a little bit. Give you some knowledge, because knowledge is power. So the first thing I'm going to give you guys is to know your weapon. In this video, I'm running around with the carbine, right? The R101C carbine. It's basically the default carbine you get. I think there's 2 different ones in the game, but you unlock the second one way later on. Just know your weapon. In this video, I'm using this carbine. Carbines are great. They're great at distances, right? SMGs are great at relatively close range. Shotguns dominate all kinds of close quarters combat. But overall, I have found that the most useful weapon class is the carbine. You have a full auto weapon that can take enemies out at close range, medium range, as well as at a distance. It's very useful. So when you're new to Titanfall and you're just trying to do better, this is the gun for you. Use a carbine. It's very, very good. Tip number 2, and this is kind of a quick one. Full auto, not always the best idea. It just isn't, alright? I found that in Titanfall, you have these guns that really don't kick a lot. They really do have a bit of idle sway, like at a distance, but they really don't kick a ton, right? So a lot of people will try and just spam down that trigger, go full auto, and manage all of that right away, right? Maybe not the best idea. It's kind of a quick tip, kind of a small tip, but just try and burst fire a little bit when it comes to trying to take people out at a distance. That can definitely help you out. Full auto works a lot of the time, but doesn't work all the time. So keep that in mind. Tip number 3, and this is a long one, but slow down a little bit. Ease yourself in. Titanfall is an amazing game, right? It's super fun. We have these spacesuits, which give us the ability to parkour around the maps. We get to double jump and wall run and go invisible, run faster and heal ourselves faster. It's amazing. While taking all of this in, Titanfall at its core is still an FPS game. Slow yourself down a bit. Learn the maps. Learn the traffic patterns. Learn where the Titans like to roam. If you come into Titanfall and just run, you're going to do poorly most of the time. It reminds me of the Titanfall beta. There were only 2 maps in the Titanfall beta, right? Now, I wasn't amazing at either one of them right away. I just felt like I couldn't move around the map very safely at all. I was getting shot from everywhere. I'm like, how do I play this game? I can't figure it out. Well, after a bit of slowing down, just trying to learn how the map's played, learning where people like to go, learning where the Titans like to go, learning, where the objectives are at and how people like to play certain objectives, I ended up finding later on where it was safe and where it wasn't. I could then begin to run all around the maps and use all these awesome different parkour abilities that Titanfall gives us without getting shot up all the time. And I owe that to actually slowing down a bit and learning the maps beforehand. That's one of the things I had to do here when Titanfall actually released, because we only had those 2 maps in the Titanfall beta. And I'm good at those maps now. I know those maps down to a science, but I didn't know any of these other ones. I didn't know them at all. And so I found that if you just slow down, and don't just try and wall run and double jump and get on top of rooftops and, jump onto the next building. Don't just go crazy. Slow down a bit. Try and get an idea where people are coming from. Try and get an idea of what's going on within the game. That will definitely help you out a bunch. Tip number 4, play Attrition. Alright, Attrition is a team deathmatch style game mode with a bit of a little twist. So it's kind of like your conventional team deathmatch, but the score limit is to 250, and you reach this score limit by earning what is called attrition points. Now, killing an enemy pilot gives your team 4 attrition points. Killing the AI grunts, like maybe the grunts or the specters and whatnot, those will give you 1 attrition point each. Dooming a Titan, which is basically means to destroy a Titan, will give your team 5 attrition points. Alright, so you do all of this, and Attrition can be a really slow game mode, it can be a really fast game mode. Really depends on if you're taking out Titans, if you're taking out enemy players, if you're taking out the AI. Anything that you can do in this game mode can really help you win at this game mode. Attrition is a good game mode to play because the objective is kills. And when you're easing yourself into a game, you can afford to take it slow when you're playing Attrition because your only objective is to kill people and to not be killed yourself, as compared to something like Hardpoint Domination, where you have flags to capture, and you have flags to defend, and there's objectives, and the spawns are changing around a lot. It's not like that when you play Attrition, right? When you play Attrition, you can afford to slow it down a little bit. You can afford to ease yourself into Titanfall. You know, if you go, 6-3 in a match, that was a pretty good match. I mean, you didn't get tons of kills, but you had a 2 KD against pilots. During that time, you might have taken out some Titans. You might have at least damaged some Titans and helped your team out that way. You might have taken out a bunch of different grunts in that time, right? Attrition's a good game mode that when you're easing yourself into the game, it's a good place to do so. Tip number 5, use those Titans. Titans are amazing for staying alive. I posted a bunch of flawless gameplays I got during the Titanfall beta because if you use your Titans efficiently, you can just recycle your Titan after Titan and just never seem to die, right? Titans are amazing for staying alive. Once you earn your Titan, you call it in and you rain death and destruction to anyone in your area. If you use the auto eject on your Titan kit, no matter what you do, you'll survive in your Titan. You can do what damage you can, be it to enemy players, be it to enemy Titans, be it anything like that. And when your Titan's finally all out of health, it's doomed, it'll automatically eject you from your Titan, send you flying way up in the air. It will cloak you, and if you guys don't know, being cloaked makes you invisible to enemy Titans, and it makes it a bit harder for enemy players to actually see you. So you're sent like hundreds of feet in the air, and you're invisible, and with your double jump abilities that you get with your pilot suit, you can just jump and get yourself out of harm's way, get away from where the action is, kind of recoup yourself, kind of try and pick a better idea of what you're going to do next. Alright, and that's why when you're using your Titans, you'll get used to the Titans as you go. You'll get used to, where to shoot on the Titans. If you see the little red part on the Titan, you shoot at that to help take it out. You'll get used to being able to take out enemy players. You'll get used to dealing with people who are trying to rodeo you. You'll get used to your Titan, but the biggest thing is make sure you're using auto eject. So when you are trying to get used to your Titans and you're maybe not doing as well as you thought, and they destroy your Titan, it will automatically eject you and you can get yourself to a safe area without you yourself actually dying. Tip number 6, use your radar. A useful radar or mini-map is essential for a good FPS game in my opinion. And Titanfall has a very useful radar system. So if you look at the mini-map, you look at your radar system, the tiny red and orange circles, those are grunts and specters, okay? The big red circles is when an enemy pilot is firing their weapon, and the big red arrow is an enemy Titan. Use this to know where the enemy team is located, and use the maps, and use your knowledge of the enemy location to your advantage. I've got one more tip for you guys. Tip number 7. Never play angry. I heard somewhere that your IQ actually drops for a little bit while you're angry as compared to when you're calm. I never actually looked this up. I don't know if it's actually true, but it makes a lot of sense, and it kind of took it to heart a little bit. When you're angry, you play bad. That's just fact. You begin to think less. You begin to make mistakes. You begin to play sloppy. And when you go into Titanfall, go into it knowing that it's not Call of Duty. It's not Battlefield. It's not Halo. It's like any other game that you've played before, and you're not going to be a beast at it right away. It will take some time, but you should enjoy that time, because Titanfall is an amazing game to play. I hope you guys all enjoyed this video. I hope you guys all found it helpful as well. If you did enjoy the video, please be sure to leave a rating where you guys feel the video deserves. I hope you guys all have a wonderful day.